Why most businesses get burned or actually scammed. In this entire video, I want to break down the entire structure of what actually you need to know before you consider working with an agency, working with an actual coach or mentor, okay? Because if you are a coach, consultant, an agency owner or service provider and you have clicked on this video, it's probably because you have been burnt or scammed in the actual past. And so there's a lot of questions that you need to really understand before you actually consider working with somebody, okay? I have got scammed. I have business partners that have got scammed and actually burnt. So this entire video will break down the entire actual structure. I will give you entirely what you need to know. So when you show up to work with somebody, you're asking actually the right questions. You understand the right actual perspective of how to look in a business partner, what to look in for advisor, what to look in for an agency if you're trying to work with, what to look in for another business that's going to help you to maybe grow your coaching, consulting or agency business. So this video is really important. Watch this till the end because I really want to help you to understand how you need to approach these actual calls when you jump on a call and what you need to do. Because like I have heard, many people have get burned. I have got burned. Many people have got scammed as well, okay? So let me start with saying something really uncomfortable. Almost every serious founder I know has been burned at least once, some even twice, 3 times. Lost money, wasted time, trusted the wrong person, bought the wrong actual solution. Maybe it was an agency, maybe a coach, maybe a software tool, maybe a partner. You believed it could be fixing things for you, but it actually didn't. And that happens a lot of times. We maybe look for a potential solution out there. They have great testimonials. They really have good marketing. Sales representatives jump on a call. They really represent their company really in a good method. And then you really strongly believe that this is the solution you need to have in order for you to take your business to the next level. But it turned out to be actual disaster. And you lost more money than you should. You wasted time. You also lost trust in them, and your confidence also dipped, and you lost momentum, okay? And today I'm going to explain to you why this keeps happening and how to make sure it never ever happens to you again, okay? So what you will actually learn in this video, by the end of this training, you will understand, and this video, why smart founders still get scammed, the psychological traps behind bad decisions, how experts manipulate uncertainty, the red flags most people ignore, and how to evaluate offers correctly, and how to protect your business long term. This isn't about fear, this is about actual awareness. So why this happens to good people, good founders that are actually hardworking? And here's the truth. Most people who get burned are not stupid. They're hardworking, intelligent, but they are ambitious, overworked, stressed, and under pressure. And that's when bad decisions really happen. When you are tired, you stop thinking clearly. When you are facing the issue for so long and you're like, I can't face this anymore, I need a solution. And because you are at that state, and let's say you maybe go online, you see an ad, you have seen maybe a poster, maybe you have seen like a Google ad, maybe you saw on a Google search something pops up, you schedule a call, you jump on a call, everything sounds great, you kind of go ahead with it. The reason you went ahead with it because you really can't bear the actual issue that's currently happening with you. And that issue that's happening with you currently was the main driver to get that solution. And so sometimes we don't even ask the right questions we need to be asking. We don't really look inside of their business. We don't look at the infrastructure. What we look is like the outside facade, which is like they have great testimonials. The sales representative is really friendly. He's really helpful on the call. Sounds like a great company. I think I can go with them because they're gonna help me to go from A to actual B and getting the solution that I want, right? So, the danger zone, the desperation. Scams don't work on confident people. They work on desperate people. Desperation sounds like I need results fast. I can't afford to fail. I will try anything. I just need help now. I want to see the results. I cannot wait another month for not seeing the results. I have been doing this for too long. I'm really frustrated. I have bills to pay, right? And that's the emotional state. And that's what is being exploited when you're jumping on the actual call to get the solution. And there's nothing wrong in wanting to get fast results. There's nothing wrong that you don't want to fail because that's part of the game anyway. But what I want to tell you is it's really important how these calls are constructed and what is the actual frame before you jump on a call and you look for actual solution. I made this simple video for actual business owners that have been burned, because I have so many of them jumping on the calls and they said, hey, I have been burnt in the past. I can't afford to get burnt again. And so I wanted to make this video for all the business owners, all the coach consultants and agency owners to really understand these little things that you say, these desperations that like you cannot wait another day to not see the results, you need the results faster, you can't afford to fail, you will try anything, I just need help, is the main reason why you are actually getting currently burnt or actually scammed. So the four most common ways founders get burnt, right? The guaranteed results trap. If you don't make money, we will refund you. Sounds safe, but usually isn't. There's hidden terms and impossible conditions and no accountability. Guarantees without control are meaningless. Like I see this a lot as well. I have spoken to a couple of, in the business circle that I am, I spoke to a couple of founders and they told me like, some agencies or some coaches will really offer you great results, great guarantees. Like they were like, hey, if you don't achieve this, we will pay you back $5,000 plus the money you have. That's how confident we are. And when you look at this, you're really thinking, well, this is really great because they're really confident in what they do. And not only confident, they're extremely confident because if I don't achieve this, I'm not only getting my money back, I'm also getting $2,000. Okay? And so what we need to really understand here is that the most important thing is guarantees are all great, but we really need to understand what is the agreement constructed like? What is the agreement really looking like? Because the agreement will tell us really how serious they are about the guarantees. Can you really meet the guarantees? And what are the actual conditions around the guarantee? Because sometimes it could be specifically that you need to follow their actual strategy. And then you need to really understand what does following really mean. Like, how do I follow? Do I mean like you tell me what to do and I do it? Or do I need to go beyond what you tell me? Sometimes it could be like, we're gonna get you 10 qualified sales appointments, and we will get you 7 sales, right? And then and if we don't get you, let's say for example, they said, hey, we're gonna refund you your money plus 5K. And then the question is like, what are the conditions around that? Like, right? How do I close them? Like, what is a bad call? What is a good call? What is a good sale? And what is a bad sale? And like, how does the skill set go into that as well? There's so many conditions that can be laid out, right? So you really need to understand the ins and outs of the conditions around the actual contract itself and the terms as well, right? The next one is the social proof trap, right? Screenshots, testimonials, and luxurious photos. But there's no verification, no context, no relevance. I have seen this a lot, that when somebody jumps on, they would have great testimonials. They would have a guy in the Lambo, and he's like, hey, I'm one of the top mentors currently in the business coaching industry, and look at my clients. And then you would only see in the clients like, hey, went from 50K to 200K, went from 5K to 1 million a month, and you see these big, huge jumps, but there is no really like a back end to it. Like what got really installed in that business? Like what was the main problem in that business, right? You only see the like results, the before and the afters, and a lot of these before and afters could be really convincing, because you are looking at it and you'll be like thinking, wow, like I'm currently sitting maybe at 10K and I'm looking at this testimonial, and this guy was at 10K and now he's on like 300K, and that's like, wow, that's something impressive. But what you don't see on the testimonial is sometimes like, what was the main problem for that specific person? Was it like not enough quality leads coming in? Did they have like weak delivery systems? Did they have weak decision-making systems? Like what was happening before the business and what got installed in the business in order for the business to be performing at that actual level? Because you need to really see the before of what the system or what the business looked like, and the afters as well of what got really installed. And then it really makes sense for you to be like looking at it and be like, okay, now I understand why the result is like that, because that and that was installed inside of that business, right? So the done for you fantasy, right? Where they say, relax, we will handle everything, right? Translation, you won't learn anything, you will be dependent. Dependency is really dangerous, okay? Like most founders that I know, they really love the done for you. That means like you don't need to hustle, you don't need to do a lot of things. It's like somebody's gonna do everything for you. Okay? But the question at the end of the day is like, what do you really learn from it? What do you really gain from it? And most of the times, when somebody says we're gonna do everything for you, it's like that's great. But what does that really look like when they're gonna do everything for you? Do I have a dashboard that I can see what's being actually done? Do I see like the progress of the project? Do I know what's being installed in my business? Do I get approvals? Do I get QAs like that we need to pass certain QAs in order for us to move forward? How does the project moving forward? Like what is the timelines and everything? Or is it like you just relax, don't do anything, and we will let you know when everything is done, and then you're gonna get the results? Because I have been in agencies that before that promised like results, and they said, hey, we're gonna do everything for you. And they said, hey, you just relax, we will send you email when everything is done, you will know, like we will send you everything for approval. And I was waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and nothing was happening for like month two. I messaged them. I said, "Hey, what's going on?" They were like, "Hey, we're still working on it." And then I understood, because I don't see how the project is really being worked on. I don't really see the timelines. I don't really see the dashboard. I don't really have a clue what's going on. That's what really like hit me that okay, this is potentially me getting actually burnt or actually scammed. And then eventually, yes, they did come out with the promise. They installed things, but the things were not working really clearly. And I understood from the start that because they don't have very good representation of how the projects are really being built, what the project looks like, what's being inside of the project, what's being installed in the projects, like what systems are being built out. I didn't have no overview of the dashboard. I didn't have no analysis of that as well. It was just a random system installed. I wasn't told why that specific system, why they do believe in that specific system, why does that system really suit my business, and how do I know that like this will deliver results, what will be looking, what will be the KPIs, what will be the key metrics that we'll be tracking as well, right? None of that. So the done 40 is really great, but only in a way where you also learn about the project, right? If it's just like close your eyes, relax and sleep, and then one day when you wake up, everything will be done for you, I can promise you you're probably getting burned. And even if the agency that you're working with, they have no intentions whatsoever to burn you or scam you, they probably will burn you even if they didn't want it, because for some reasons they don't have the right fulfillment systems inside of their business. So they are probably guessing and testing everything on your actual budget, okay? Then the insider secret lie, okay? This is what happens to top people don't want you to know, okay? If it worked, everyone would know. Secrets don't scale, systems do, right? I have heard this one. Sometimes it's like, hey, we have the secret sauce, or like we have the secret that like most don't know, and we know, and this is the reason why we can take these companies to like such a huge scale. Or like, hey, you want your business to have better hiring systems, you want your business to have better acquisition systems, we have the secret for it. Usually that secret is not a secret, because end of the day, what you really need to understand, if you look at the top entrepreneurs, you look maybe at Alex Ramosi, you maybe look at Grant Cardone, you maybe look at Sam Evans, you maybe can look at the top people around, right? Cole Gordon, you may maybe look at them. You really need to understand that they already went through a lot of things. If it really be a secret, don't you think somebody that is so on business every single day would not know about it? Like, if there's a secret, I would know about it. The reason for it is because you are every single day in the actual business. You're running the business, you're learning things. Like, I would say the only secret it could be if in the 90s you would have a chat GPT right now and nobody know about it. That's the only way it could be a secret. But even then, people would know about it, right? So why most smart people fall for this, right? Because businesses, like business itself is really emotional thing. Like there's so much emotion goes into the business. It's like you sacrifice your family, you sacrifice your time, you sacrifice your money, you sacrifice your sanity sometimes, or your well-being, right? And when you are uncertain, you look for certainty. And scammers sell certainty, not competence. They all sell you certainty. They sell you the clarity, right? Because you're uncertain what's going on inside of your business. You're not really knowing if this is gonna work or not gonna work. You look for outside help, and you look, and somebody tells you that they know what they're doing. They have that. You have that certainty in believing and making sure that it works, right? But at the end of the day, you really need to understand this. there's a structure you need to go through, and we're going to get into it. So watch this video to the end, right? So the confidence illusion, right? Many bad operators are confident. They speak fast, they sound sure, they never hesitate, right? Confidence is not competence, right? Silence and questions are usually smarter. If somebody's just listening to you, observing you on the call, asking you the right questions, you really like some questions that you haven't even thought about it, it's probably because they have experience in doing what they are doing and they know what they're looking for on the actual call when they're asking you questions, what answers they're looking for to maybe better analyze you, to diagnose the actual call, to see if they actually can help you. But if somebody's just speaking and speaking and never gives you a chance to speak and never asks you questions, that's a bad sign, okay? The real root cause, not internal system, right? Here's the big truth. People get scammed when they don't understand their own business. If you don't know your numbers, your funnel, your margins, your bottleneck, you are easy to manipulate. And ignorance creates vulnerability. I see this all the time. I have jumped on a lot of calls as well, sales calls, with coaches and consultants. Most of them don't understand their business. Most of them don't know the numbers. They don't know what the funnel really should look like inside of their business. They don't know even their bottleneck, because everything they do, it seems like it just needs more time. But in the reality, you don't need more time. You really need the right strategy behind your actual business in order for you to scale your business. And because if you took 2 years and you couldn't find a solution, it doesn't mean that in the next year you're going to find a solution, okay? So what you really need to understand here is that a lot of times when somebody's like really tired of trying, they jump on a call and they don't really understand their own business. They don't know the numbers or what like cost per lead is, cost per client is. They don't even know their funnel, like what's working, what's not working, or like even if they have a funnel, they don't know their margins and they don't know even what is the main bottleneck. It's really easy for somebody to just tell you what the problem really is. And you're going to believe it because you're not seeing the results you should be seeing. And that's the main reason also why most of them get actually manipulated, is because you don't really understand your own business. And if you don't understand your own business, who should understand your business better than you? Okay, let's get into the next one, the business defense framework, okay? Now we're going to get into this framework that's going to help you to actually protect you, okay? So the business defense framework. Every serious founder needs this. Diagnose before solutions. Never buy tactics first. Ask what's broken, why, where. No diagnosis equals guesswork. If they cannot diagnose the call, if you don't know what's broken, if you don't know why, where, it's just guesswork. Control before delegation. If you can explain it, don't outsource it. Learn first, then delegate. Really learn about the problem you're currently having inside of your business. Okay, really learn about it. If you're not learning about the problems you have inside of your business, don't look for outside help because you don't even know what you need help in the first place. It's like when you go to the doctor, you can't just say, hey, I need some help with my body. Like the doctor's going to ask you what specifically you need help with. And if you can't point your finger on exactly what you need help with, then don't go to the doctor. And so the same here applies in the business. Like if you don't know exactly what is currently broken inside of your business, like why is it broken, where, how can you fix it and what you need to fix it, don't go looking for a solution because you don't even know what the solution is. And I can promise you, even there could be ethical people out there and you can maybe buy even the wrong solution from ethical people, which at the end of the day will still not work out and you will get burnt. Okay, proof before the payment. Ask for case studies, live examples, and process breakdown, right? No proof, no deal. So live examples would be so that they explain to you like, hey, we had this business, what happened with him was this and this and this, what we did, we installed this and this and this, this is how the project went, so on and so forth. And so you have a better understanding what the project looks like. Case studies, right? Also the same, like you're literally looking at some clients and they could be telling you, hey, he went from 1,000 to 2,000 and this is what happened inside of the business before, and this is what we did, and the reason we did this because of this, and now they're at 2,000. The same, like it doesn't matter. I'm just giving an example. 1 or 2,000 could be like 100,000 and 1 million, but still, that you kind of understand the point, right? And then obviously there's a process breakdown. They understand their processes. Okay, that's a big one. Alignment before speed. Fast decisions are really expensive. Slow clarity saves money. Okay, so now some red flags you must never ignore. If you hear this, be really careful. Trust me, everybody's doing this. Limited time only. You're overthinking. Don't talk to others. Slow, like I'm the only person that really knows what you need right now in order for you to get this done. Pressure is really a warning sign. If somebody's really pressuring you on the call, you shouldn't go with them, okay? Because they're not giving you enough time to really digest what has happened. Now, sometimes, right on the call, just wanna I wanna come up, like wanna really tell you the game now. Listen, sometimes I have coaches, consultants, and agency owners jump on a call. They already know what the constraint is. We have diagnosed their entire business. We have showed them exactly what it is, what the next steps are, how is it going to be. We give them the entire process, the breakdown, absolutely everything. We even ask them questions that nobody has asked them before. And then at the end of the day, they're like, hey, I need to think about it. In that kind of case, if somebody's really trying to help you, they will try to really handle your objections in a way to really expose the truth of why you're not making those changes in order for you to benefit your business. That's completely different. What I'm suggesting here is, if for example you don't even know what the solution looks like, you kind of are really like foggy about like what the process is, what the breakdown is, and you really don't have a good understanding of like how this entirely will work, and you're like, hey, I need some time to really understand how this works because you send me maybe some like things, then if somebody says, hey, trust me, this is what you exactly need, I know this, or like everybody's doing this, limited time only, and they're giving you this, it's completely different than somebody that when you know what is not working, what is the main constraint inside of your business, when you know what the solution looks like, and when you know what are the next steps in order for you to get the solution, and you're not acting, is completely different than when you don't know these things and somebody's trying to convince you. It's completely different, so understand that. So how real professionals sell? Good operators ask questions. They diagnose you first, disqualify, often explain risks, and don't rush you. If someone only sales, they don't care about the outcomes. Okay? If somebody jumps on a call, asks you where do you want to be let's say where do you want to be in the next year inside of business, that's great, and you just sell you around the result that you want, it's not gonna work. In our business, like when we have a coach, a consultant, or an agency owner jumping on a call, we ask the right questions. We diagnose first. We have often also disqualified them. We explain them the risks involved, and we don't really rush them in the thinking process as well. Now, most of the times, at the end of the call, obviously, it's 45-minute call. In the 45 minutes, we diagnose the entire business. We diagnose the entire bottlenecks. We diagnose their like constraints. We tell them exactly what needs to happen inside their business in order for them to grow. We give them the actual solution on the call as well. Not really how to do it step by step, but we tell them exactly what needs to be installed in order for them to get there. And then we try to give them to make the actual decision there at the end of the actual call. Most of the times, some would make a decision, some would not make a decision. I want to let you know. Somebody that's really serious would always ask for agreement. We can send the agreement, we can finalize the agreement, we can go from there. Other times, what I see is some people will not make a decision because they really fear of getting burned. That's why I made this video. But what you really need to understand, if you are being asked the right questions, you're being diagnosed first, then they're also like asking you deeper questions about other things, that's a good sign. Most coaches don't like the questions because they have been burnt in the past or scammed in the past, and they think it's like really vulnerable. If I give them these answers, they're going to use it against me. But you need to understand, like a good operator, like great businesses would ask you the right questions in order for them to better understand you, and then they will explain you things and they will not rush you, okay? Then using AI to protect yourself. So smart founders use AI to analyze contracts. So you can simply, let's say somebody sends you an agreement, you can just put it through ChatGPT or even AI, any AI you use. And the AI itself will actually give you the loops maybe in the contract, things to look out for, and maybe things to cover, okay? Review their offers, compare competitors, validate claims, and research vendors as well, okay? AI is your second brain, and it helps you to better understand the things. Now, listen, sometimes you maybe can look at the competitors as well, you can maybe look at some other solutions, but at the end of the day, it really comes down to you understanding what has really made the bottleneck happen inside of your business and what really is needed in order for you to get there. And now if you're looking at competitors, let's say you're looking at different businesses, you shouldn't only look at their actual, say, investment plans. You should really also take a look at what the process really looks like, what the project looks like, what the dashboard looks like. All of these things matter, because maybe somebody is cheaper, but cheaper never means that it's going to be better than actual more investment upfront. Because I have seen many people try to get cheaper, and then it ends up costing them even more time, more money, much more problems in the business, and they are 3 steps back from where they actually need to be. So sometimes you really need to validate also what solutions are really being given to you and which solutions will be great for you. So the cost of getting burned. Being scammed costs more than actual money, right? It costs you confidence, momentum, trust, and time. Many founders quit after one bad experience, okay? But what you really need to understand is here, it's like relationship. You maybe got in a bad relationship, but that does not mean that you're not going to get married. So it's the same. Now that you got in a bad relationship, you know better what you don't want in the relationship. And the same in the business. If you have get burned, if you have got scammed, have your confidence, have your momentum, but because now you know what questions to ask better. Now you know what you don't want in the relationship. You already know what were the actual patterns before and what you want not to happen again, okay? So how to evaluate any offer, right? Step by step. Before buying anything, ask what problems does it actually solve? Why this is the constraint now? What proof exists? What happens if it fails? And who owns the process, okay? If answers are unclear, walk away, because you should know really what is the problem inside of your business, right? What problem does this really solve? The main solution is being offered to you. Why is this the constraint right now inside of your business? You should know that. What proof really exists around their actual solution? Like, proof that only comes in testimonials, because I've seen great testimonials and somebody has great case studies, but doesn't mean necessarily that it's going to work for your specific business. So what you need to understand at the end of the day is you really understand the processes. Like, why is the process for us to go from A to Z, and what does it really look like, okay? And if the answers are unclear, then just simply walk away. So why systems protect you? Strong businesses are hard to scam because they know their numbers, they know their processes, they know their bottlenecks. Knowledge is the actual defense. So the long-term mindset. Serious founders think I'm building for decades, not I need a shortcut. That shortcut itself is what attracts you the wrong solutions and most of the actual manipulators to you. Shortcuts attract scammers, and here's the truth. Most people don't get burned by bad people, they get burned by bad decisions. Under pressure, with no systems, and that's what gets most people actually burned, because they're really unclear. So if you build clarity, build knowledge, and build structure, you will make sure that you will be actually untouchable. Now, if you have a business and you really are trying to find the right solution, you really want to find what's the problem inside of your business, you want to scale your business and you need help, we are offering a free diagnostic. It's completely free. It's not a sales call, by the way. We're not going to push you or sell you anything. You can schedule that in the bio. Just a simple link. Schedule that in. We'll jump on a call, tell you exactly what your bottlenecks are. Also diagnose your business. And listen, if you say, hey, can you help me? If we can help you and if you really qualify for us to help you, we can look at it and we can look at the numbers and what it actually takes to get there. Now, for other reasons, I really want to help a lot of coaches, consultants, and agency owners to grow their actual business. This is why I have this YouTube channel here. I would really love if you could comment, like, and subscribe to my channel so this message can get out to more people, so it can really help more business people to get the right solutions when they're looking to actually scale and grow their companies. Thank you, and I see you later.